Hello. Yeah, hello. There we are.
Test.
And now I have to see where my camera went.
Camera's like, bye.
Yeah, where's my camera? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Things like,
I know. That's why I'm like, the camera's just not working. Don't thumb it down.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
I have to reset it.
Yep, I'm gonna have to reset it. 1 second. Wow, that broke.
Oh, you got it angry, sis.
I gotta Is it working? Is it working? Yeah, I think it is.
Is it not working?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, now it's working.
Nice.
I'm just like hide over here.
Nah, it's like, come on in, enjoy the fun.
All right, let's see. Oh, look.
Yay.
So now we get to test it everywhere. Okay, now we have a couple of people coming in, which is good. Seems like it's all working. Hooray. I am so sorry. This has been weird working with Streamlabs. It likes to work when it feels like it. And now it's working. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
So, yay. So we're going to start off the stream talking about online dating and the sort of, I guess, experiences that we've both had.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I know I've had really negative experiences, and I don't know about you if you've had pretty bad ones.
Might have been pretty bad as well. With online dating, geez. Yeah, well, definitely you start first, and then I'll follow up through with it.
So I tried online dating a couple years back when I decided that I wanted to, well, of course, start dating again. I was married for a little bit, and then that did not work out. So I needed to get back on the saddle, so to speak, and go into the world of online dating. And wow, that was different. It was a whole lot easier to go dating and finding people when I was in college because you could actually see the person and know if they were good or not, or if you were potentially going to date a serial killer. So the good thing about that was that, yeah, you could really know people. But online, you kind of don't know. And
exactly.
I will say I did get catfished for a little bit, which wasn't great. And
You got catfished.
I did. I felt really dumb, but I mean, it happened. And it was just one of those things that, you remember Mom, she liked the guy and she printed the guy's photo.
Oh my God. That was a mess. That was a mess.
It was just so bad. But it was just one of those things that you really don't know who you are going after online. And this guy was like too good to be true. He only had like 2 photos. The photos looked like he had cut them off from something. And they were like really nice, I guess. I was like, it's like, this looks a little shopped and everything. I remember showing Mom, and Mom's like, he's beautiful. This is the guy I want. He's real. Yeah. And I was like, it's kind of weird. And it was one of those things like, I mean, I watch like Catfish the show. I mean, just because it's like fun and ridiculous. But I know exactly what some of those people feel like. But the thing is I didn't let it go on for more than like a month. Because I realized that the guy was fake pretty early on, and I just kind of wanted to see what excuses this guy would come up with.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's kind of fun to see the excuses, to see what they're going to say. You're like,
Yeah, because you're just like, well, I mean, what can you come up with that you can make me believe that this person is real? So I'm the type of person that just goes, hey, I want to FaceTime with you. And at the time I was like, hey, we can Skype, we can do like Google Hangouts, anything that would involve a video so I could see the person's face to make sure that they were real. And they always had an excuse.
Yes.
It was always like, my phone's broken, like my Skype doesn't work, I'm never home, our hours are different. So I said, okay, cool. Why don't we meet up like for coffee or food or anything? And he was just like, okay, like that'll be fine. And then anytime that it would be within the hour of meeting up with him, he's like, yeah, my car broke down and it just...
You're like,
And I was like, okay. I'm like, that's really strange. And then I would tell Mom like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, nah. I think that's the guy. That's the guy you're going to be with. I love him already. I printed the photo and it's all over the house. So
set in stone.
So mom was okay with the catfishing to begin with.
Yeah.
because the guy looked like a model. And I was like, this is, Yeah,
It's
that's
like something smells weird.
it's a little fishy. But I ended up of course catching him on his lie and stuff because I mean he said like 5 times like, hey, we're gonna meet up. I'm like, I'll kind of continue with this. And he had this whole story that he was like from California and he'd come over here and that he was going to be like a filmmaker. I don't know, a bunch of just stuff that seemed like too good to be true. And I was like, and I'm like, yeah, like people can do all this stuff, but at the same time, like, why are you like available? Like,
Yeah.
you look like this. You supposedly have a really decent job. Like, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, something is really wrong with you. And then the guy's like, yeah, okay, let's meet. And he said, well, let's meet over at the mall. And I went to the Florida Mall. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just go get murdered. Like, so I'll just go to the Florida
I guess I'll
Mall.
just go get murdered.
It's like, I'll just go and get murdered. So I went over to the Florida Mall. And I said, well, we'll meet over somewhere in, like, one of the stores. Like, I picked a store at the time. And he's like, okay, cool. I'll meet you over there. But that didn't happen because he never showed up. And then he sent me another message saying, like, well, hey, we're going to say bye to our friend that's leaving us.
Bye, friend that's leaving us. Bye, friend that's leaving us.
Oh, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.
But it's just one of those things that he never showed up. And then I got a message back saying, like, hey, some stuff came up with my family. I couldn't show up, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just like, dude, stop. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I watch enough TV now to know that this is fake. I kind of kept it going for a little bit. I did end up going to the mall just because I was, like, super curious, but.
Julia. Hey, Julia.
Hi, Julia. Yeah, see?
Oh, man. Online dating stories. These can be fun.
Yeah, fun. Exactly. So it was one of those things that I'm like, all right, I got catfished. But at the same time, I mean, I sort of guessed that this was fake within like the first couple of days, the way the guy was talking. He wouldn't send him any more photos. And this happened like within the last 10 years. Like, yeah, within the last like 9 years. So, I mean, come on, like iPhones like existed and Androids, all this stuff. So taking a photo of yourself isn't complicated.
No.
I don't care if you have a potato phone. You send me a picture or just like a chicken scratch drawing and go, this is what I look like. And I'll be okay with that. But it's like at least put a little bit of effort into it. But it was just one of those things and I'm like, something's just wrong. And then I told Mom and Mom's like, you scared him away. I said, Mom, you know that like we never actually saw each other. I'm like, this guy never existed. I don't know what this guy looked like. Mm-hmm. I don't really know if this guy was real. I mean, it was just one of those things. This guy, I don't really know what it was all about. Mm. It's the thing that I never did, and I'm glad because sometimes I think this is what they're just doing. They're just wanting you to send like
money,
money or naked photos or anything like that. It's just so they can have it, and then they'll just message, I guess, a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, they can also use it for blackmail or some sort of thing like that. I mean,
yeah.
It's the easiest way to get scammed, you know? And especially, I mean, you can see the warning signs, you know? Like, the pictures are too good to be true. They're probably too good to be true, you know? But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Funny enough, you told me that story, like, a couple of years ago, but it's kind of crazy to hear once again, especially all the trials and tribulations that you have to face.
It's one of those things that guys experience different like versions of this and of course girls, so I'm speaking on what's happened to me. I don't know if you have like a horror story or you're just like, wow, this girl that I met was nothing like she said she was online and this happened.
Yeah, I mean, I also got catfished as well when it came into meeting somebody, and it happened actually when I came over to when I was starting to live with you. Oh, actually, we have somebody saying, could you imagine asking for a photo and someone sending you a drawing of themselves?
I'd be better with that. I mean, if the drawing is good, I'd be like, all right. I'll give you like brownie points on that one for effort for effort. So
yeah,
it's
exactly. But yeah, like when I came in here, when I started living with you, roughly around like a good year ago, I went on Bumble, and I didn't really use Tinder. I actually used Bumble because I heard a lot of my friends using Bumble, and it's actually pretty solid. Like I met a lot of really cool people there. However, I remember meeting this one girl who I started to get some little like red flags, especially from the beginning of the conversation, is because she was always nonstop texting. And I mean, I don't mind, you know, talking, having a great time and everything, but like literally like every second she was texting something. And I'm just like, well, maybe you should give a little bit of that buffer space, you know, so I could also say something as well. But regardless, you know, I'm always one to give people benefit of the doubt, and I actually went on a date with her, and the picture she was sending me, I mean, she looked really cute blonde girl, she looked nice. So I was like, awesome, I'm gonna go see this chick. And I remember we went to a date, and once I actually got to see her, it was like literally a totally different person. It was
it's like surprise.
Exactly.
I look nothing like my photos.
Exactly. I'm just like not only, I mean, in the picture she was like a blonde white girl, but then like I see her and she's like super mullotto tan and with brownish hair. Like it was literally the total opposite
so she
of who
just
it
took
was.
a random photo.
Yeah, exactly. And she totally played it off like it was cool. Like, hey, what's up? And I was like, were we talking through Bumble? And then she's like, yeah, remember me? It's Jessica. And I'm just like, hey, Jessica, what's up? But suffice to say, the date went kind of okay. I mean, overall, once again, I still give her a chance, but we didn't really click. But the thing afterwards was she started just sending me more and more text messages. And I was just like, all right, this needs to stop. So yeah, more than anything else, I have to be careful, especially when it comes into meeting people. And if once again, as from what my sister said, if it's too good to be true, it's most probably too good to be true. You know.
So my online thing didn't stop right there because I was like, all right, I gotta try again and hopefully get somebody that's real, somebody that wants to meet up and see where it goes from there. So I tried a couple of different dating sites. I mean, I didn't do Bumble at the time. I did like Plenty of Fish and like Match and all that stuff. The ones that seemed like safer, less of a hookup site and more of a relationship
Kyle
site.
Morris is hi, by the way.
Hi,
hey,
Kyle.
Welcome to the stream.
And I tried those because it was like I told you, like less of a hookup. And I was like, I was looking for like a relationship and stuff. I wasn't looking for like a one night stand thing. But the thing with these sites, it's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like, guys are like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just going to go all over these and figure out who I can catch, I guess.
So Julia says, oh my God, that's so awkward. I had someone give me a completely misleading photo once and I was like, oh.
Yeah, see? So it happens.
Like, you know, Julia, you know.
It's like, it happens, and that's the thing. So when I went on these, like, and you fill your profile, you do all your stuff, and I try to be as accurate as possible because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm catfishing anybody. I'm not like taking every photo like angled up like this so I look like twig thin, and it's like I face-tune my eyes out pretty much so it just look like a ball of shininess. Exactly. It's like, I mean you see all that stuff too. You're like, oh 100%. Wow, like that angle, that when that iPhone starts doing this. And you're just like, oh man, that photo, and just like, like you don't look anything like that. And there's like they never show a picture from the chest down or anything. I was like, I'll show everything. If you're gonna call me fat, or if you're gonna call me too curvy, or you're gonna call me, I don't know, whatever you want to call me. At least I'm like, hey, I'm not lying about my photos. Here, have this. You can judge it yourself. It's all good.
Exactly.
But
Julia says they were completely different human beings than the person in the photo.
Yeah, see? So it's like, that's what I was like, I'm going to be honest with these people. So I started getting messages and everything. But first messages, dick pics.
Of course.
It was just like a barrage.
It's all about them dicky pics.
Dick pics everywhere. So you just open up your thing and it's like, okay, I'm on my phone. I'm at the bank. Dicks. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to Publix. Dicks. I'm like, all right, great. It's like, it's just a phone. It's just like a plethora of wieners.
It's like
everywhere.
shot in the dark, but here's a penis.
It's like, hey, hi, I like your profile, dick. And I'm like, oh, cool. Can I maybe get to know you a little bit better? No, here's my penis. All right, that's awesome. But at the same time, I was like, okay, that's block. So I'm just kind of like, this is ridiculous. So I started getting a couple of people that did want to talk, and then I started talking to a couple of guys, and I'm just like, all right, like, that's cool.
Barrage of dick pics.
It is. It's like, I'm like, all right. And like every day you're just like looking at your phone going,
It's like,
another one.
Another one.
It's just so bad. You just kind of, and then after a while, you get so desensitized looking at these things. So you're just like, C-, B+.
It's like, you gotta work on the mangles, bruh.
like maybe C+ for effort, like bad lighting, all this stuff. So you start judging these things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to talk to the people. You're just getting these photos just to judge. Now you're just like, nah. So I started like responding back like, I don't like it. And I started jokingly saying it doesn't have a hat on it. I mean, it's like, it's not dressed. I don't care.
You actually got one.
And I got, but that was years ago because I started doing that years back. And a lot of guys took it as a really bad thing. Like, what do you mean it doesn't have a hat on it? Like, doesn't have a cape, doesn't have like googly eyes, pretty much like glitter and everything. I'm like, this is boring. I've gotten 50 dick pics and they all look the exact same. Garbage lighting, terrible composition, and I don't want to see the same thing over and over again. So I was like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. But so then I did get a couple of people just talking to me because they didn't want to, you know, hey, dick pics. And
hey, dick pics.
So I got 2 guys, and one guy was like, let's meet up. And I talked to him for a little bit and everything, and he seemed really normal, really fine. And I'm like, oh, I could get along with him. But he hid a lot of information that I didn't really like when I actually got to meet him. I actually got really drunk on that date because I didn't want to hear him talk anymore.
Ay, Valentina, ¿por qué?
It was just so bad. And I'm kind of like, all right. So I go meet this guy, and we go to eat at Texas in Brazil. So if you've ever been there, it's like Meat Faucet. Literally, Meat Faucet. And it's probably not the best place to take somebody on a date, especially if things were to go further. Because, I mean, I'm going to be real honest. You're going to get diarrhea.
Yeah. You're gonna
it's terrible. It's like, this isn't even hot. And you're just kind of like, oh, you know that you're taking me to a place where I'm going to get the meat sweats. I'm probably going to get super sick afterwards. And even if you wanted to be like, hey, let's go have some fun tonight, that ain't going to happen. That's like closed.
Nope.
So I'm talking to this guy and everything. And then he asked me, so do you have any pets? And I'm like, yeah. And at the time I had 4 dogs. And it's like, now I have 2. And I had fish and everything. I didn't have birds. And he was like, oh, cool. Like, not really interested. And I was kind of like, why is he asking me this question? And he's like, I have cats. I was like, okay, that's fine. But I'm allergic to cats. So it's like, I can be around people that have cats and all that stuff. But I mean, I couldn't share a home with somebody who has a cat because I'm actually really allergic to them. And I was like, oh, okay, like, that's nice. And I had it in my profile, like, I love all animals, but I'm like, I'm really allergic to cats. I'm sorry. And he was just like, I have 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a lot of cats. Like, that's fine. I'm like, I said animals. I think they're great. They're great animals. And then he's just like, yeah, but they're like my life. And I'm like, okay. And then he was telling me how he had dedicated a whole room to his cats and how he did everything for his cats. And I mean, I do a ton of stuff for my dogs. My dogs are like my children and all this stuff. But at the same time, I don't bring it up so much on the date that it's like the entire being of me. It's like, yeah, it's like I tell them what I do and all this stuff.
Small little red flags, you know.
And you're just like, oh, but it was like cats. And I'm just like, that's nice. And he was like, yeah, I don't really like dogs, though. I'm going to be real honest with you. And you know what? You told me you don't like dogs? Get out.
Bye.
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 Bye. I don't even want to deal with you because, nah. Dogs are always going to be in my life.
100%,
So
100%.
it was really weird because, like, after a little bit, he wouldn't stop talking about his cats and his cats' names and their personalities and what they did. And I'm like, why don't we talk about, like, I don't know, travel, anything, the weather? You've been talking about the cats for the last 45 minutes.
It's a big deal.
So I started ordering sangria because that's what they had. And I was like, just bring it. Bring it. And I started getting really red because I was getting really drunk. And then I'm just like, that's nice. That's not. And he kept on talking. And he was like, oh, like, because I still remember, like, did I upset you about something? I'm just like, I don't think this is going to work out. He's like, why not? I thought you would like my cats. And I'm just like, I don't want to date your kitties. It's like, I'm really not that interested. And he was just upset and everything. And I was like, look, man, you don't have to pay for me for my date or anything. I paid for myself. I felt terrible. But it's just kind of like, I wish he would have made it in his profile that his whole life was dedicated to cats. And I wouldn't have wasted my time to go out with this guy because they will kill me, literally. So I'm just like, I am so sorry, sir, but you have wasted your time. So that was like my cat guy date. And eventually, like, I had to sober up like outside. I couldn't go anywhere for a while. And then I waited for my friends to pretty much pick me up. But it was just one of those things, like, like it wasn't a catfish. It was funny. It wasn't a catfish.
Catfish.
But
Nice,
it
nice.
was me being like bamboozled into going to meet this guy. And he said he liked all these things. And he did tell me he liked dogs. When I talked to him online, because we're talking about pets, because I mean, it's a generic thing to talk about. And he was like, yeah, I like dogs. Yeah, no, when he tells me to my face, I don't like dogs.
Ugh, that's such a like stab, you know?
Why would you lie to me? I was like, we already had nothing in common. So it was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I don't know. It was weird. I mean, I'm sure you guys have something similar like that.
By the way, Kyle Morris says, dick pics? Wow, haha. I feel bad if I say something impolite during the first contact and these guys are going in full wood. Always thought that was stuff of memes, not something you guys actually did.
Yeah. Well, I personally haven't really sent dick pics when it came into somebody going like, oh, wow, I'm totally going to get to know this person. Let me send a pic of my penis. No, but it's really awkward, and it's funny because I get to see like my sister actually like receiving
showed
those.
them to you.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
So it's like
What?
that's the thing. It's like as a girl, you're just like, all right, you're taught these things that I mean, I think it's terrible, but at the same time, you're trying to protect yourself. Where it's like, be careful, like on the internet, everybody's a serial killer or a rapist, and it's horrible because you start putting this idea that like everybody's a terrible person, and it's not the case. So the guys that are like actually like fine, you don't see them as well because you are literally swimming in dick, and that's the
Yeah.
part that you're just like, oh my god, like please stop, like just. I'm trying to find the ones that I can actually have a conversation with. Yeah, if you want to see that afterwards, that's fine. As long as, like, both of you guys are totally chill with it. But don't be like, hey, what's up? Boom, send that thing.
it's like, hey,
Over
I
there.
really like it. Boom.
Yeah,
Here's
it's
a pic.
like, no. So then I had a second guy. This one was also interesting.
Sis got all the stories.
So these were the ones that were more memorable. The other ones were just kind of boring. Like, it just kind of simmered off and that was it. Because I'm like, all right. Still doing the online dating thing. It's like dealt with the cat guy, dealt with the catfish. I was like, I mean, maybe I'll find somebody else that's decent. So this other guy started talking to me and everything, and he was Cuban. He was really friendly, and he was really cute. And I'm just like, oh, cool. And we both spoke Spanish, and it's like we kind of interacted a little bit in Spanish, a little bit in English, and I talked to him for like a good 4 months. Like it was for a little bit.
Oh, wow,
And
yeah.
so it's like, I was interested in him. And I said, look, we should meet up because he was constantly traveling and he was a big Disney nerd. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, maybe we'll find a lot of things in common. And he kind of knew about like the furry stuff and everything and fursuits. And I was explaining to him, and he was also into cosplay. So I was like, wow, this is easy. I'm like, it won't scare him. Like, with the suits
exactly.
and stuff. I'm like, it's going to be a little bit like, I guess, normal enough. I don't have to like come up with excuses to be like, surprise, this is the world of furry. And then maybe the person like run away or something. But it was really interesting because this guy like waited for a little bit and he said, all right, let's meet up downtown at one of the clubs. And I said, that sounds great. But I'm not dumb. I'm not just going to show up by myself like, hey, look at the little old me. And get, like, I don't know, something happen, like get robbed or, worse.
Or fondled.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm like, well, if I'm going to a club and stuff, I'm going to tell my friends to kind of just mingle in the club. And I will separate myself from them and go to, an area to meet up this guy. And if things start to get sketchy, then at least my friends can be there. I mean, I was trying to be safe. These are things that are ingrained into women. Don't go by yourself if you're going to meet somebody because you're going to get hurt potentially.
Hey, Deltrex, welcome to the stream.
Hey. So I get there and it was with like 4 friends or so that I had at the time. And I said, all right, you guys kind of walk around, do your thing. And I'm going to go sit by the bar because I said I was going to meet up with him by the bar. Then my phone like goes off and I see a text message and it says, I see that you're not alone. Okay. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Cool.
You brought your friends. And I'm like, my friends go to the club too. I was like, I didn't think that was a bad thing. Plus, I don't usually come to the club by myself. He's like, I don't think that's cool. Your friends need to go somewhere else because I'm not going to like introduce myself to you with your friends there. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, all right. And I told everybody, like, I guess you guys can go like downstairs of the club. Like, like I guess further away, you're too close. And then he's messaging me. He's like, I'm still watching you, and I see that you haven't told him to leave the club. I'm like, excuse me? Watching me? So I'm like turning around
It's
doing
like, the hell are you?
is this dude seriously watching me? And then he starts describing like what my friends were wearing, and I'm like, this dude's a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm gonna straight up
that
get
sounds
murdered.
murdery.
I'm like, that's just a mess. And then I was like, dude, what the heck? So I started getting really mad, and I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna leave. This is stupid. And he was just like, well, if you really want to meet me, I'm gonna be at this club. And it's like, and don't come with your friends. I'm like, okay. And the club was just like across the street from the one that I was at, just in downtown Orlando. So I walk over there, and immediately he goes, I see you're walking over here with your friends. Never mind, this date is off.
Huh.
Okay. And he was just like, I don't like it that you have a posse of friends that could totally jump me if they wanted to.
I jump you?
So I was like, all right.
It's like, okay,
So I'm like
yeah.
telling everybody about what's going on, and they were just like the friends that were with me, like, wow, that's really weird. And I even showed them the text, and I go, do you guys, this is kind of weird. Like, it's almost like I'm not talking to the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
Just freaking out and stuff. And he was like, you wasted my time. I've been wasting my time with you for the last 4 months. I shouldn't have been talking to you and stuff. And I knew that he was around because he ended up describing what we were wearing. So the guy was, from some vantage point, like a shooter, watching us and trying to be like, hey, you can't be there, like, with your friends. Like, oh, I didn't think that was a bad thing. It's not like my friends are going to be there like, let's go rob this guy. It's like they just wanted to make sure that I was okay. And that's normal. And at the time, I was like, well, I just want to make sure I had already been catfished, cat guide. I mean, it's like all these things. And I'm like...
Catfish, cat guide.
So it's like, what's going to happen next? And I thought, well, I'm going to get murdered tonight. I'm like, this guy's just being weird. And I even said to him, I'm like, no, man, this is odd.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So fast forward years afterwards, Facebook is creepy. Straight up creepy.
Mr. Scott, what a gentleman.
So Facebook is just creepy. I'm going through stuff and it says recommended people for you to follow. And I was like, oh, okay. Boop, boop, boop. I'm looking at it. And there was a friend of my current boyfriend and his photographer and stuff. And it said photos that he posted of an event that happened at Dr. Phillips. All right. I click on it. It's that guy.
Really?
That guy was in those pictures.
That's
he had
funny.
finally found his wife because he was already married and already had a kid and all that stuff. And I was like, well, this dude moved quick.
Yeah.
Like quick. He found himself little Latin honey, had all the stuff he wanted and everything. But I was like, oh my God. And then Roscoe was like, why is your face just like changing colors? I just went, Facebook's creepy because it just linked me to this person
that algorithm
who's a friend of yours, and that friend of yours is connected to this guy who was, I swear to God, must have been a shooter or a serial killer at the time. I was like, because we couldn't even meet up with him. And it was funny because I told him the story and he was just like, wow, what a small world. And I'm like, yeah, I think I dodged a bullet on that one
exactly.
because that was
that's pretty scary, sis.
No, it's like it's like super creepy stuff, and that's why people get uncomfortable dating online. Because it's like, I mean, for me now, I laugh at this stuff. I'm like, I have these stories and I'm just kind of like, I didn't get hurt, thankfully, with anything like that. But at the same time, you kind of learn from them, and it made me feel really like uncomfortable to try to go dating again. So
Kyle Morris says, playing it safe with friends is always a good shot. There's some disturbing individuals out there, and they can crop up in the most unlikely places and where you least expect it.
yeah.
This is true, and it's funny because sometimes you might see some of the pictures and they might look like totally normal people, but then you actually see them in like real life.
No,
and there might be somebody that's totally different, you know? Even if they look the same, but the way they act with you it could be very different, you know?
It's just so ridiculous because it's you want to believe people are always good, and it's like I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know, it's like I'm gonna find all these people, and the other thing is I wanted to find friends on these chats, but it's like I don't know. Maybe I was just naive with it and stuff, and I wasn't using it the correct way, and I just assumed that people were great, and it didn't work out for me. I literally just deleted that stuff, and I said, you know, whatever. I guess I'll just die an old spinster. I'm just gonna go make a hole in the yard and go die in it. But the thing is at that time I also reconnected with a very, very old friend that is my boyfriend at the moment, and that actually worked out really well.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like surprisingly well, you know?
Yeah, it's like it worked out really well. I mean, he had been divorced too, and we understood each other really well too, which is weird. It's like, it's odd sometimes to date people that haven't been through a divorce, because it's almost like you have extra baggage. It's not bad, but sometimes it's nicer to relate to people that can go through the same pain that you went through. So it's almost like you're older inside. And in a way you have so much more experience than somebody who hasn't been like married or been in a very long relationship with somebody. So I wanted somebody that understood that if there were certain things that I might have complained about, they knew the same issues that I had gone through. So I ended up reconnecting with my current boyfriend, and it worked out really well. And the nice thing is I knew him for years, and I knew him well, that I knew, hey, he's not going to kill me, eat me, bury me in the yard, sell me in the black market. I mean, all this bad stuff that every woman just assumes is going to happen to her, especially because it's scary. I mean, it's...
Well, yeah, you guys have it a little bit harder than, I mean, at least to me in my experience, guys have it a bit easier compared to women, you know? I mean, with women, you got to worry about somebody, you know, like taking advantage of you, like physically, and not only that, but mentally too, so.
The one thing that I will say we have easier is we can pick from more guys.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go for like girls looking for a guy or whatever, it's like there's a bigger selection. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a good selection. No, but I mean it's like a bigger pool.
You got your choices, ladies.
Yeah, it's like you do get choices, which is like, oh, okay. I mean, a lot of the choices are really, really scary because you don't know what's gonna happen. But a lot of even when I went on the website, even when you put like you're looking for guys and girls, just because I wanted to see the kind of ratios that you would find in there, there weren't as many girls. I always thought there was more guys, because a lot of girls have been really scared about the online dating thing, at least like from what I've felt.
But I feel like it's gone a lot more like in equilibrium when it comes
like
into like guys and girls when it comes into being online, because there used to be like a huge. I feel like back in like the early 2000s, there used to be more guys compared to girls, but then now I feel like it's gotten a lot easier, especially with like the advent of like Bumble, Tinder.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many other like social media like dating apps that people use that we probably never even heard of, you know. But it's always crazy, because it's like, you know, if you're in the market, you want to meet somebody, you know, you want to be safe, you want to be happy, you want to get to know this person, but then like, one thing is you talking to them through the social media app, but then another thing is actually seeing them can also be very nerve-wracking. And I know we've had experiences where it's like you meet somebody and it gets very awkward, or that what I like to call the awkward silence, where you're just like, man, like what are we going to talk about, you know?
It's the staring.
Or the staring. Exactly.
You're like counting the cobwebs, how many bulbs in the light. You're like, yeah, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just so awkward, because you're like, yeah, what do we talk about? Life.
Yeah.
And work. I mean, work is like the easy one you would talk about, and pets and family, and then you just bring up like a couple other things. What kind of food do you like? Do you travel? I mean, all the generic, you know, just to kind of get to know the person. But man, that awkward silence.
Yeah, honestly, that killed me for the longest of time. And you know that when the conversation went to, what bands do you like? You know, you have nothing to talk about. It's like, what bands do you like?
Oh, it's Fur.
Fur?
Hey, Fur. Yeah, sup, nerds. No, it's like, that was like, it was awkward. It was really awkward.
Yeah, but it's funny because I feel like personally, as you get older, like you start to realize other things that you can talk about. You know, there's many different topics that you can have conversations about. But it's funny because when you're younger, like, you get so nervous. Like,
oh yeah, it's just you're like, oh my god, like do I have food in my teeth?
Yeah,
and you're just like, everything's like, oh no.
Yeah, and for me, I'm 31, so for me now, I feel like I can have a much more like eloquent conversation. But back when I was like 22, 23, even then I was just like, what?
Nah, well, it's like everything would scare you and all this stuff. And the biggest insult that I know I got online, I think almost every woman gets online, because I see it online all the time, is if you say no to them, they're like, well, that's okay. You're fat.
You fat.
I don't date fat girls. And it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, like, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's
cool story.
And it wasn't, you weren't even being rude. I wasn't like like F off or whatever. I was just kind of like, no, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I was like, well, girl, I'm not interested in you anymore because you're fat. This is after dick pic had arrived, and I'm like, oh, I don't.
There has to
care.
be a dick pic.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like they just like cue it, send it. It's like send it, and it was weird because it's like I've been online where I've seen people going like, oh wow, like they immediately go like guys go for that insult when they get offended somehow. I don't know. It's like, and I think a lot of women have been like, all right, like, okay.
Okay.
Like, it's like, well, I don't like it that you don't wear makeup.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's like, I didn't know there's like some of the insults that I would get. I was just like, you don't wear dresses enough. All right.
It's like
that next, I guess.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. It was a lot of really weird stuff. Like people were like really uncomfortable. Like just they wouldn't know. I just got insulted so much by saying no, and I was never rude. I'm just like, okay, bye, and it's like I'm not interested, and then I would just block to avoid like, I don't know, something else coming through, and I'm just like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was odd. It was just. And then, what is it, the one that you have now, it tells you the proximity of where people are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were doing that, no, you have to tell them in Japan.
Oh.
How much attention you got in Japan.
Japan, Nippon Ichiban, which means Japan number 1. It was a pleasure because when I was in Japan for the first time, I was single and I had Bumble, and over there, and it's a little bit of an interesting like culture shock because the thing is when it comes into Bumble in the United States and Tinder, they're more known for as a hookup app, for the most part. However, in Japan, you get these Tinder and Bumble apps. They're more for friendship than anything else because once again, different cultures. So, but the funny thing is over there, they love Americans, they love Europeans, they love all like exotic quote unquote like. People that come to Japan. So I remember when I had my Bumble account in Japan, I literally I was doing an experiment where I swiped right on like all of them, and I was literally getting matched every single time. I feel like a king.
Your phone would glow, and you're like, look, and you're just like, scroll.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey sis, check this out. And she's like, clink, 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 clink. It was really cool. I loved it.
That was fun.
Yeah. So I was like, no complaints
No,
there.
that was actually cool. I want to say thank you to Splinter Fox who donated $2.
Oh, thank you, Splinter.
You.
Appreciate it.
That's
thank
awesome. Thank you guys for anybody who donates to the stream.
Thank you.
Because this is like a new thing that we're wanting to do every week. So this is something that we just want to have different topics every week. It'll either just be myself or it'll be the both of us like talking about stuff because it's just something we want to do more. So we're going to try to do it every Thursday if we can, for as long as we can, and we're going to try to start it at 7 p.m.
Yep.
As long as Streamlabs wants to work. Nice,
yeah, exactly.
So it's all up to the Streamlab gods and YouTube that allows us to do this. So thank you very much for anything that comes in.
Exactly, and it's for the pizza fund.
It's for pizza party. So as much as you want to donate, be it like $1, it's going to pizza.
Exactly.
We just. I know I ate lunch really late this time, so you guys don't get to hear the ASMR of me like chewing on that pizza right next to the microphone.
I remember in the first stream, like we got the pizza ready and everything, and I already ate like half of it, like 5 minutes, and I was like,
I'm talking, and I'm just like, can I?
Yeah, and you're just like, you just look to the side, and you're like, where's the pizza?
The pizza was so cold. I was like, no. So that'll be pizza party. We can have like popcorn next time, and then if you guys really want, we can just go like, right next to the camera. Ew, I hate that so much. It does not relax me. It gives me the creeps. But
Fur, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to slice next time.
You gotta come over and join us on the stream since you know where I live, so it's fine.
Fur knows where we live.
Exactly. But no, it's been interesting with all the online stuff and everything because like the job that I have is I'm pretty much at work and I don't really see a whole lot of people apart from my coworkers, and it's my brother, one other person, and then my boyfriend whenever he's here, but most of the time it's just the three of us and that's it. And then any other people that we see are people at the post office, a UPS store, maybe FedEx, and then it's places where I go buy materials like Joann's and Michael's and And that's
Yeah, my
like,
sister
yeah.
has me incarcerated in here.
No, it's
Send
not-
help! Send help!
No, it's just one of those things that when my marriage ended with my husband, I didn't know if this was going to be a thing. Like, how am I going to find anybody? Because it was so easy to like find people when you were in college or in high school or anywhere where you were actually like around people all the time. So I totally relate to the people that see how hard it is, especially when you have jobs that you don't really see other human beings.
That's true.
It's like you start talking to them online and stuff, and then, I mean, you just don't see humans, and that's kind of a mess. But oh, you see, Moneyasha said
Same.
and it is tough because it's like I tried to explain it to people for a little bit, and they didn't really get it because a lot of the jobs that, I mean, like let's say you work at Disney, you see people. I mean, you see guests, I mean, and you see coworkers and everything. You have a lot of people, but when our group is like 3, it's just us, and you're my family.
Yeah, exactly.
You're literally my blood.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, okay, and if I wasn't dating somebody, it's almost like I don't even know how to find time. Like to go see people and stuff.
It's a lot of energy, you know?
I barely have time to see my friends. It's just like when work consumes you and stuff, it's like, okay, it made sense why people jump on like a Bumble or a Tinder, a Plenty of Fish or any of that. It's convenient because it's nice to look at what's there. It's almost like a menu.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Uber Eats.
Well,
you're like, I want that one.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, like back in the day, you just met people person to person, and then that's how you got to know them. But now you have kind of like I guess you would say like a safety net, where it's like you can kind of feel them out, feel their vibe, and see if it works out. And if it does, you go on that first date, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But not, once again, speaking about the catfish, you know, not everybody's 100% honest with how they are as people. So, and then you get to see the fun ones.
And it gets scary, and that's the thing. It's like, I never had like such a scary experience. I mean, most of mine have been more funny now that I look at it like older. But I mean, it could have easily gone the other way. So.
By the way, Julia says, "Yeah, working from home gets lonely." All caps. Let's have a pizza party next time I'm in Orlando. That sounds perfect, Julia. More than welcome.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Just poke us. We're either at work or at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're both really close to each other. So yeah, it's like come and see the shop.
Yeah, well, I mean, if everything works out, we're going to be able to see Julia at FWA.
Oh yeah, if you're going to FWA, if any of you guys are going to FWA, we plan on doing a lot of videos and stuff over there. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to stream over there because I know how much of a black hole that hotel is when it comes to the internet.
Yeah.
So we'll try to do stuff. If we do stream, it'll be through Periscope because it seems to be a little bit more reliable. But if you guys want to, find us, we're going to be filming. And and I'll be posting, of course, after the convention. So just find the both of us. We'll also be running around in fursuit because we want to run around in suit while we're there. You're going to be wearing Nicholas the Cat.
Yep, Nicholas the
Cat. Which is the scribble suit that I own. And I'll probably be wearing the K-line suit, which is one of the kimono suits, and my goat, which it's a partial. I mean, it's not even a full partial. It's like hands and a head. I'll probably just make like a nubby or something like for the tail. But you guys can find us.
yeah, FWA coming up fast. It's true.
It is, yeah. Shh. Don't remind me how quick it's coming up. It's like I'm literally going to be living at work for the next 2 months.
People are like, where are my suits?
Yeah, it's like I need to finish so much stuff, and that's why we've been like so much stuff to do. But there's a lot of cool stuff that we have planned for it, and we're going to be driving up, and we're going to take a lot of stuff to deliver.
Yeah, we're gonna look pretty snazzy.
Yeah, we're taking outfits that are not fursuit outfits because we like costumes in general. Roscoe was really bummed out, like he can't join us this year, had to cancel last minute, so it'll be the both of us going, and then of course Tori and Tycho are going to be staying in the room. So. So we'll be joining on some silly clothing games.
Yeah, exactly.
Just find us. We'll be easy to spot since
we'll be posting. Yeah, I was saying we're going to be posting a lot of pictures too. Yeah. So you're definitely going to have to stay tuned on that Twitter game.
Exactly. But no, it's like that's kind of like the stories that I had for like online disasters and everything. But I will bring up one other thing that was funny, and you just saw this. I decided to get on Snapchat again.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, I don't have enough social media stuff that I like to get on.
What did you see?
And it was dicks.
Dick pics.
Every single one. So of course I decided, I'm going to say something on Twitter. And I'm like, it's funny. You get on Snapchat, all of a sudden you say you're active again, and you start getting a bunch of randos just sending you messages and stuff. I mean, a lot of the other messages were fine, which I'm like really happy. A lot of them were like customers and friends that I know. It's like, oh, you're back. You're posting on Snapchat. Even though I still don't use it a ton, I use Twitter the most. I started getting a lot of just, random dick pics. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's not what I wanted. But I go on Twitter and I say, I just wish that people were more creative. It's like, if you're going to send me one, like I said before, just, dress it up. Add a hat, put googly eyes on it. I don't know, put glitter on the damn thing. Make it look cool. Take a well-lit shot. Well, I guess the world of Snapchat decided to read my Twitter and say, well, we're going to send her some dressed up, dick pics. And they did. And I eat my words.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they followed.
I was going to say, they got creative.
They got really creative. Some got creative physically with things. Other ones got creative with lighting. A lot of them got really creative with stickers and filters.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were like face tuning.
I love
their dick,
the animations. It's like the little Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
gloves
they put little hands on it. It was a hat. But I think the one that killed me was the one guy that sent one with a hat, a monocle, and it said "Milady" on his dick. Milady. I did say A for following instructions and effort. That's it. He asked if I wanted to see more. I was like, no, I'm good, man. I'm like, the one that you dressed up, fantastic, cool. That's great. I'm done. I'm like, no more. But it's just funny because people were actually doing that. And every single guy that sent one of those said, I have never sent my dick all dressed up before.
I was like, this is a first.
And I said, well, maybe I can start something. I told people, start putting them in dioramas.
Trendy dicks.
And
Hashtag
everything.
trendy dicks.
Exactly. It's like, like, really put effort into it instead of these like lackluster dirty room ones that I usually
and the angles are horrible too.
I was like
make it from the down up, you gotta make it look nice and massive.
It's just like, all right, like that's no, that looks terrible.
That optical illusion.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, but it was just funny. So when I tell people this stuff, like, how Snapchat is creepy that if you screen grab it, it says person screen capped. Your thing. So I see you screen cap my photo, and it's like, I only did it because I had to show my friends because nobody's gonna believe me about a milady dick. It's like, that's the problem. So it's almost
the guy's like, she enjoyed it.
But you want to grab your phone and you want to grab another phone and you want to take a picture of your screen, and that way they don't know because it was so bad, and I don't want them like thinking like I'm applauding them and to send me more stuff. It's like, no, don't send me more things. I don't want them. But it was just funny. And the thing is it happens on Instagram. It happens on Twitter. Not as much on Twitter anymore, which is good. But it just happens so much. And it's just one of those, like, as a woman, you get harassed all the time with this stuff. And it's almost like, if you're easily offended, stay off the internet.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, stay off the internet. You're gonna have to shut that curtain because I think the neighbors are gonna look. It's like we have a curtain that's open and now it's like not looking so good being open. But it's just really weird because it's one of those things that you just want to go online, you just want to have fun, you want to do your thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, it's just harassment time. But
it's just harassment time.
It's like, oh. I mean, if I go way back before the online stuff, like when this dates me on how much older I am because I'm in my 30s.
My sister's 21.
No. Yay! Ew. No. It's like, yuck. But if you go back to college and stuff, I had this one guy that he was in my class and he was really quiet, and it was just like, okay, be nice to him and everything because the guy was being nice to me.
Okay, so what if someone's dating profile was an Elizabeth mask? Would you meet up with them without any further photos?
I would. I think that would be hilarious. That means they understand me very, very well.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
I mean, Elizabeth...
Great choice, Julia.
Elizabeth is creepy, but I love her. You know that her Twitter got banned because it was inappropriate.
We took Elizabeth to Japan, which is awesome.
Yeah, but they banned all her pictures. I need to start posting them again on my personal one. I don't know. It just like bothered me.
It's like, oh,
because it got banned. I tried to like reactivate it, and Twitter was like, "This is against the rules." Somebody like reported it as like terrorist activity.
Jeez.
And then it was like,
come on, guys.
And it was like abuse and all this. I'm like, it's just a mask. Like, geez, like what is wrong with you? But
somebody got triggered.
Going back to the guy in college, there was this guy who really wanted to like hang out and do all this stuff. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll be friends with everybody. But the thing is I went to Full Sail, and Full Sail at the time, now it's more of a mix here in Orlando, used to be predominantly guys, and that was it. And there were very few girls in school. And it was literally 5 of us, and then there was like hundreds of guys. So you're just like, all right, we're prey, literally right there in the middle.
Yep.
And a lot of guys would approach us and stuff, and it was fine. It was like whatever. But this one kid was just creepy. So I'm like, all right,
creepy.
I want to be friendly because, you know, I'm not trying to upset anybody. I was new in Orlando. I'm like, I'll be nice to everybody. Doesn't matter. And then the kid was just strange. And the teacher would tell me, because he spoke in Spanish to me after class, it's like, hey, the guy that sits behind you won't take notes, just stares at the back of your head. The entire class.
That's weird.
And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, I don't have eyes in the back of my head, so I don't know when he's staring at me. He's like, well, I'll tell you every time he does that. And I'm going to try to sit you guys in different places, because we had assigned seating in the classes that we were doing. And just because it's actually creeping me out. And this was the teacher saying stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then he moved him across the room. But he was in like my eye level. Like I could see him. And he would just look like this. Just the entire time. Like, I don't think he blinked. He was like an alien. And it's just like, just stared. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's kind of creepy and stuff. But I'm taking notes, you know, doing my thing. And then he started following me to my car. So the thing that was creepy was it'd be my car would be parked here, and I used to drive this little yellow Beetle, and he'd walk on the other aisle, like, of cars, and just be staring at me. I was like, okay,
cool.
That's weird. And he drove a truck, and eventually he would go into his truck, but he'd just be staring at me, and I'm like, okay, like, whatever. I'm like, maybe we just happen to be going to the car at the same area, and I'm just being paranoid over nothing. All right. And then one day, he sees me, and I'm going out, because the thing with Full Sail is we had really weird hours. Sometimes we left school super duper late, and it was in the area of Winter Park where it is. It's not the safest area either. It's changed a lot now, but it was not safe at all for a while, and a lot of shootings and stuff would happen, and people would get robbed all the time. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get murdered over here going to school. I'm literally gonna be a statistic or a Lifetime channel.
Lifetime channel movie.
That's all Mom thought was gonna happen to me. So I'm walking to my car, and I hear running behind me. So I immediately like turn around, and I'm just like, guess I'll die today. And I look at him, and it's this kid, and he's running towards my. I panicked.
Oh God, you're like.
I like panicked, and I ran towards my car. I was happy I had a key fob, and I'm like, unlock. I throw myself in the car, and he sticks his arm as I'm closing, and he throws a letter in there, and then he runs away.
The fuck?
And I'm like, okay. So I look at the letter, and it was like this love confession letter. Like, I'm in love with you. I've been watching you, like, at school. I'm like, clearly you're watching me, because you're, like, absorbing my soul through your eyes that you don't blink all day. I'm like, you're so creepy with this. And I'm like, oh, like, I better talk to this guy. Like, this is getting really strange. I'm like, and I mean, when I was in college, I started college when I was 19, and he was probably about 19 as well. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, puppy love or something kind of thing. I'm like, I better put an end to this, because I'm like, this is creeping me out. And so I'm like, all right. I went and I talked to my teacher in school, and he was just like, yeah, just be careful. I'm like, because, you know, stuff could escalate. He doesn't seem like he has a whole lot of social skills, and he seems like something's up with him. And I was like, all right, whatever, no problem. And then I went to my apartment. You went to my apartment.
Yeah, I remember that.
The 1-bedroom apartment that was across
from.
You
had your GameCube. We were playing Star Fox Adventures and stuff like that.
So I went to my apartment, went to, you know, at night and everything. I had a little bird and stuff. That was the only pet I had during college. And then I hear random knocking at my door. But it was like...
It was like, uh-oh.
It was like 10 at night or something. And I don't just open the door to anybody. And lights were on, but I had this big window that faced into my bedroom, and it was on the first floor. And it's just like, like, Val. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, who is this? I'm like, who's knocking on my door at this time? And this was really early on in college, so I didn't have, like, a whole lot of friends right away. I mean, I had, like, acquaintances and stuff and people I was seeing in school that were, like, friendly with me, but we weren't, like, friends yet. Because this was within, like, the first 2 months of school. It was just, like, really early on. And so I was kind of minding my own. I'm like, who is this? And it was just like, Val, it's so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, okay. What do you want? And I'm just like, what do you want? In the dark. I don't even want to open up, like, I turn on the lights, open anything. My windows are closed. So I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, what do I grab? I'm like, I'm going to have to like hit this guy with something. So I grabbed the slider thing that like protects your door from like being opened at night, because I thought somebody was going to come in through my slider. Not like the stuff we have here, but like it's like a white bar with like rubber ends, and I'm just holding it like a bat. Like,
you're like, I'm going to beat somebody.
What do you want? And he's like, I need to talk to you right now. And I was like, not like this. I was like, you're not coming inside the house. And it's like in the apartment. I'm just like holding it like an idiot. I'm like, how am I going to hurt somebody? This thing looks like it would bend if I hit somebody with it. I'm just like, okay. I'm like, please go away. And he was like, if you don't let me in, I'm going to break the door down. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know why. I grabbed my junky Nokia cell phone that I had at the time that barely worked. I had to like look at it for it to like work. But the battery did last a week. I will say that. That was good about Nokia. But it barely worked. And then I don't call 911 because I'm dumb. I call my dad. Dad, I think I'm going to get murdered. What do I do? What are you calling me for? You call 911. I'm like, I don't want to bother the police right now with this. Can you help me? And Dad was 3.5 hours away. And Dad's like, nah, you call right now. It's like, this is not good. And I'm just like,
you must have been so scared.
I didn't know what to do. It was one of those things like when people go like, you know, like, who are you going to call right away? And you're like, oh, I'll just call 911. And it was just one of those like, I called my dad for some reason. And then Mom's in the background. Oh my God, pretty much like Lifetime movie is going to play in my head. Like, she's going to get murdered.
You're going to get pregnant with an alien baby.
It's like, I'm like, what is going on? I said, hey, I lied, of course. I said, I have the police on the phone. I'm calling them right now. Like, you need to leave immediately. And the guy's like, oh, I can't believe it. You're not letting me in. And he started saying a bunch of stuff on the thing. And I'm shaking. I'm just kind of like, great, I'm going to die. I'm like, this guy probably has a gun. I don't know what he has, everything. He finally left. Nothing happened. I was really happy about that.
Mr. Scott, sup, Dad? I'm about to get murdered. And he left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you help me? And I had kept my phone on, and Dad's like, I can't believe you're not calling like 911. Like, Dad's like, I'm gonna drive up there right now. Like, this is ridiculous. It's like freaking out because I'm like, I'm the first kid out of all 4 of us to go to college, and Dad's like, great. The one girl we have gonna get murdered tonight. Like, this is terrible. So I'm just like, okay. So the next day I got to go to school because at Full Sail you cannot miss a day of school. They will kick you out. You are done. So I just go there and it's like, well, great. I'm going to go talk to the administration. I'm going to file a report. I'm going to call the police and everything. I talked to my teachers and they said, yeah, you have to file a report. They called the student in, talked to him, and he admitted that he tried to break into my house.
Oh.
Okay, that's cool. The guy's like, yeah, I needed to talk to her. She wouldn't let me in, so I was trying to break her door down. A+. Why would you do that? So I thought, because I thought he was going to lie about it. And I was like, okay.
I was like, class A gentleman.
And Mom, Grandma, and Dad had shown up that day because Grandma was visiting at the time. Scare Grandma, I guess. Got to rustle her up because, you know, she's not old enough to be hearing this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, what is going on? And I'm like, don't worry about it, Grandma. Nothing's going to happen. We filed a restraining order. It'll be okay. And that was like the weirdest thing. Like, within like 2-3 months of being in school, a bunch of stuff was already happening. I mean, this stuff got creepy real fast. But
wow, Kyle brings up a good point. Put your phone in a sock and start swinging, especially if it's a Nokia. Those things are tanks.
It was that thing was like a brick. I mean, it was cool.
A weapon of mass destruction.
It was cool. I only had a Nokia. I will bring this up because I love the X-Files and they had Nokias.
Oh, is that why?
That's why I had one.
Funny.
I was like, I wanted a phone like Mulder and Scully at the time. I was like, that was why I had that phone. But it was okay when it worked. And but I did the reporting and all this stuff, and it was weird. And then immediately that afternoon, the kid pulls a knife on me in the parking lot.
Really?
Because
I didn't even hear about this.
He said he wanted to show me his knives because the restraining order was going to make sure that we couldn't see each other anymore.
Wow.
That's nice. I don't need to see your knife.
It's like, before I go,
he didn't go like this to me. He just happened to have one and thought it was cool, even though he tried to break into my house the day before. And then he's like, look how cool my knife is. And I'm like, dude, we're not even supposed to be around each other. You give me the creeps. So it was really, really strange. I had to talk to the police again, that he was not respecting the restraining order. Immediately school didn't kick him out right away. They did this really weird thing where it's like they shifted his classes so we were never in the same vicinity with each other. So I had like classes in the morning while he had classes at night. So we didn't see each other at all. A couple of months went by, and then I met up with one of the same teachers that I had during the first couple of months of school. And he said, "Oh, you want to know what happened to that little kid?" Everybody kept on calling him the Antichrist because he looked like something like
Antichrist.
that. And it's just like, okay. It's like, this kid's like really creepy and weird. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, what happened to that guy? The guy that like tried to break into my house? Because I was curious. So like, he got arrested. It's like, oh, he got arrested. Like, what did he do? I guess he tried to rape somebody in school. Like, legit, like, grabbed her, put her in the truck, and I guess was trying to rape this girl. And I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. It's just one of those things that, like, the stuff I dealt with him, like I said, I can laugh about it now because it's like, well, great, I have these stories that I'm just like, I'm glad nothing happened, but something got really close to happening to a girl, which is really scary.
Yeah.
And then it's just, again, a statistic, again, that happens, like girls getting raped in college. Like, that's not cool.
That's crazy.
So I was like, oh my goodness, like, I can't believe this happened. But this is the thing that really messed me up. He had come from a different state, and he had multiple restraining orders on him. And the school never checked it. I don't know how they are now with this stuff. I mean, Full Sail has changed a lot and everything. I love that school to death, and it was great. But it's one of those things that I cannot believe they hadn't checked these things. He had a bunch of stuff. He shouldn't have never left the state. And I guess he had harassed other women in the previous college or school or wherever he was at.
That's crazy.
That they had filed this stuff against him.
Glad you're alive.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just one of those things that, of course, online dating creeps you out.
Yeah.
Of course, being wary of, like, trusting people and stuff. Being wary about, you know, going to a club, going to a bar. What are they going to do? And it sucks because it's at the same time, you're like, I want to have fun. I want to do all these things.
You want to meet
and
new
then
people.
but at the same time, I don't want to be like, I don't know, my skin being worn by somebody. Or maybe being locked in a dungeon while I'm getting chopped up. It's like, come on, guys. It's like this, like, it's so bad. I'm like, I don't have kids. At times I'm like, man, I think I would scare the hell out of a child if I was like, honey, you're not going online. Everybody's going to, like, destroy you. So it's like, don't do that. But it's one of those things that I'm like, I learned so much from the online dating.
Good old life experiences.
And just, you know, general stuff. I mean, you learn a lot of stuff in college too and everything. And my college was more of a tech school more than anything because it was less of the party because it was this advanced course where you couldn't skip class or you couldn't miss any class because you had the more
standard,
regular,
like, traditional.
Yeah, exactly. You went to UCF and you could party, you could do all the stuff.
Yeah.
You had
felt like a college stuff that you see in the movies.
Yeah, exactly. You had that, and I went for the more like 2 years of like extreme school. So it taught you to go out into the real world, especially doing a lot of the 3D animation stuff, working for games, working for movies and whatnot, and you were like ready to immerse yourself into this like crazy psycho like lifestyle of that stuff. I didn't pursue that because like the fursuiting stuff kind of kicked off, and that's why I didn't do that. But we had a very different kind of mindset with that. But it's just one of those things you go back and you think about it. You're like, I get it. I get why girls get scared. I see all this stuff that happens on the news, and I'm just like, oh boy, things are changing. I mean, and if we talk about something like a little bit more negative, kind of like, I worry like now about all the kids and stuff with all the shootings and stuff that happen in schools.
Yeah.
Like things that I never thought about in school.
Yeah.
In college and stuff like.
I mean, out of anything else, like really think about how much accessible things have become to kids nowadays, and with no background checks and stuff like that. You know, like.
Yeah, it's like things have gone a lot.
It's a shame, but you're gonna keep on hearing about this going forward, and you never want to hear about it. But it's unfortunately becomes something that's kind of standard procedure, you know. So.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that's like it's changed now. I mean, there's a lot of good that happens online. I will say.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful for the internet for everything. I mean, my whole business runs online.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to meet some of the most awesome people online. I get to travel the world, and I get to do all this stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if it wasn't for the internet, I mean, we wouldn't exist. I mean,
this
like,
business
McScandy wouldn't exist at all.
And one thing that I've come to notice when it comes into the community, especially the furry community, is you guys have been very welcome with me, like very positive, very happy people. So I really have to appreciate that with you guys, and I hope for anybody that's watching this stream, if you guys go to FWA, please come over and say hi, because I would love to talk to you guys and just get to know the people that are watching these streams, because you guys seem like really cool people, so I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, this has been fun. It's like,
it has.
And with these streams and stuff, we're trying to keep them really chill, and just so we can talk about like experiences and everything. And what I want to do is kind of put it up for vote, especially on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, it's under Latin Vixen, and then we have your Twitter, which
Team Kimura.
The Team Kimura. So I gotta post his up because you gotta be active on yours.
I do have to be active.
Like I pretty much live on Twitter, so it's like
yeah,
you
my
constantly
sister 24/7
see me posting stuff there. But I want to kind of create a poll, so every week we have different topics to talk about, and we'll be talking for like about an hour. So like right now I'm going over the time limit a little bit here just because we had some small connection issues again at the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this stream. I wanted to say thank you guys for coming in and joining us and hearing us chat about our misadventures.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the online world, and we'll have hopefully another really fun topic. And next week we are also going to be streaming some stuff with Suits sometime and everything. Just we're going to vary it up, do all sorts of stuff. We also want to do challenges.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up
I'm always down about the challenge.
You like spicy stuff, right?
Oh, I love spicy stuff.
There's this challenge that I saw the other day, and we're going to have to test it with you. It's the one chip challenge. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, it makes everybody cry.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
I wanna try it. Is it delicious?
It's bad. It's like I think it's Takis or something that has the one chip challenge. I have to look it up.
Monigasha says thanks for sharing. Oh well, it's our pleasure.
Oh, thank you for joining us. But we're gonna start doing challenges and stuff because you'll see either if you see this background here in the back, we're here at work. We stay after hours to do this stuff, and then we're going to do some stuff at home. So we're going to like really do all sorts of stuff. And I want to do giveaways. I have fun goodies that we're going to try to give away in most of the stream. So if you guys stay throughout the stream, you'll be able to get goodies and stuff. I want to do stickers, and I want to do all sorts of little toys and little food stuff and everything. I have so much stuff I brought from Japan, and I want to share with you guys as well. So thank you again.
Well, before we go, I want to give respect to where it's due as well. Kyle Morris said, growing up with the medieval internet was kind of a blessing in disguise, as I feel it taught us to be cautious and careful around strangers, and it seemed to be more child-friendly than it is nowadays. 100%. And also, Kyle Morris says, you seem like a pretty chill dude, and these streams have been fantastic, and we appreciate you, Kyle. Really, thank you. Thank you for always coming to the streams. And Kills Creature says, are you guys planning on bringing Jeffrey to FWA?
So that was funny because we did talk about the Jeffrey thing.
Oh, man.
So we're renting a van if it's available because we have to bring some suits to deliver for customers. If he fits, we will bring him, and hopefully there will be other Jeffreys that we can see. But it just depends if he fits. That's the only thing, because it would be awesome to bring Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be funny if we had like a convertible or something and take Jeffrey around.
I love wearing Jeffrey. Jeffrey was a blast.
Well, you wore him for Halloween.
I wore him for Halloween, and it was one of the coolest experiences. But that's for another stream, but it was an incredible experience.
It was super fun. So we'll see. If he fits in the vehicle, we'll bring him. We have 4 adults going in the vehicle, plus suits to deliver and suits that we're wearing. So we'll see how much stuff we can fit.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for always coming into the stream. This is stream number 2, and many more streams to come.
Yes. So thank you again. Be sure to follow me also on YouTube, because that way it'll tell you when I'm streaming. If you follow my Twitter, you'll know where I'm streaming. I'm going to try to do it at least every Thursday. And we might do other streams like throughout weekends and stuff, because I'm going to try to stream like sometimes when I go to Disney and everything if you guys want to join. And of course, I'm on Snapchat as well. Just no dick pics, please. I don't want them.
Bit of dick pics with little hats and like animations, milady.
I don't want milady dicks or anything like that. So try to keep those at a minimum, please. But yeah, I'm on everything on Instagram and all that stuff. So thank you again for listening to us ramble, pretty much, because that's what we're doing. Right? And here's Keegan. Keegan says, "Hi guys," and "Bye guys." Keegan, say bye. Bye. Say bye. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye and thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Yay.
Good night.